Today we're going to be making toilet paper roll crafts. For these crafts, you will need toilet paper rolls, scissors, glue, tape, paper, rice, and something to color with. For our first project, we're going to be making a cactus. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be making a stencil for our toilet paper roll. So the first thing you will do is measure out approximately where your toilet paper roll is on the paper so that you know that you're not going too big or too small. Then you can go ahead and draw out whatever shape of cactus you want while leaving room for a pot at the bottom. Once you're finished with your drawing, you can go ahead and cut out the shapes that you can go ahead and use your stencil. Once you've cut out your stencil, you can lay that down on your toilet paper roll, and you can go ahead and start to trace that and use it as a guide to make the shape on the toilet paper roll. And there we have our shape. Now that you have your shape, you can go ahead and use scissors to cut out the shape in your toilet paper roll. I started out with bigger scissors, but I ended up switching to smaller scissors because it was easier to cut the smaller spaces. Once you reach the point where the front of your shape is cut out, you can go ahead and cut out the pot, which goes all the way around the back of the shape. You can also take the time now to clean up a little bit around the edges of the shape to make sure that it's to your liking. Now we can move on to coloring. So to make this a little bit easier, I flattened out my toilet paper roll a little bit so it's more like coloring paper. And I chose to separate the top of the cactus from the pot by drawing a little line when I was coloring, just to make sure that I wouldn't mix them up. You can go ahead and repeat that on the back of your shape. Now that our cactus is colored in, we can add the final touch. For this you'll need white glue and rice. So I went ahead and drew lines with my white glue, but you can always just draw whatever design you want with it. And this will be used to add the spines onto your cactus. You'll take your rice and you can sprinkle that onto all of the glue that you've put on there. And once you feel that you have enough on there, you can go ahead and tap off the rest. And there you have it, your cactus. Our next craft is going to be very similar to the first. So for this one, I'm going to be making a flower. And since it's about the same size as the other toilet paper roll, you can use that same stencil size. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in a tulip with a couple spikes and sort of circular shapes, a stem, a couple leaves, and I'm making sure to leave room for another pot. Once your stencil is drawn out, you can go ahead and cut it, and we will repeat the same thing that we did with the cactus, lining up the top of your stencil with the top of your toilet paper roll, and you can use that as a guide to make your shape. There's your flower. You can go ahead and cut that out in the same way that you did with the cactus. Here I'm flattening the toilet paper roll again so that I can more easily color on it. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the cactus, where I repeat the colors I did on the front on the back of the shape. Once you're finished with coloring, you can go ahead and squish that back into shape so that you have a standing up pot. Now you've started your own little garden out of toilet paper rolls. This next craft is going to involve animals. So I have two different colored toilet paper rolls, and I'm going to go with the lighter one because it's going to be yellow like a lion. But you could always take yellow paper or color plain paper and wrap that around another toilet paper roll. So because I'm making a lion, I'm going to go ahead and color my toilet paper roll all yellow. And that'll go around the entire thing. Now that your toilet paper roll is completely colored, we're going to start with the face. So the face is going to be a circle that's about the same thickness as the circular part of your toilet paper roll. You can go ahead and add some ears, which are more circular shapes, and we can go in with some details like a mouth and a nose, some eyes and some ear details. And you're going to go ahead and cut that shape out. If I was making a girl lion, I would go ahead and just glue this face to the toilet paper roll. In this video, I'll just be showing you how to make a mane just in case you want to add one. So I put my face down on another piece of paper that's slightly larger, and I'm just drawing out sort of a cloud shape, just to sort of look like fuzzy hair, and I'm going to color that in brown. Once it's colored, you can go ahead and cut it out, and you can make sure that both sides are colored brown. Before we glue everything together, we're going to be making feet. So to do that, I've drawn a half circle and cut that out on both sides. Now we can put everything together. You can take your glue and draw sort of a circle just to put the head on the mane. And you'll use that glue again to attach the mane onto the toilet paper roll. I chose to have the feet so that they'd be facing the sides, but you can of course turn it whichever way you want. To add the finishing touch to the lion, we're going to add a tail. So I just cut out a small strip of paper and I colored it in the same yellow as I did with the body, leaving a small space, sort of a square at the end of the strip, and I repeated that on both sides. And in that small square, I colored it in the same color as the mane or the hair. And to sort of give it a hair texture, I cut little slices and messed it up a little bit, and then I bent over the top so that I could glue it onto the toilet paper roll and it would stick out instead of straight down. Your line is complete. For our final craft, we're going to be making an octopus. For this, you're going to need a lot more paper because we're going to be adding tentacles onto the bottom of your toilet paper roll. So to start off, I just took a piece of paper, lined it up at the top, and taped it onto the toilet paper roll so I'd have an idea of how much I needed. You can go ahead and use the full length of paper all the way down from the bottom of the toilet paper roll, but I wanted my tentacles to be a little bit shorter, so I drew a line so that I could cut there. Then I rolled over the toilet paper roll so I'd know how far I'd have to cut in order for the paper to cover the whole toilet paper roll. And then I cut out that square. Once you have that shape cut out, you can flip it over and color it whatever color you want. Once that side is colored, you can flip it again and cut out strips of paper just up to the bottom of the toilet paper roll so that you can have tentacles for your octopus. Here I'm adding details with a marker, but you can just use a darker color. Once you're finished with all of your details, you can go ahead and wrap your paper all the way around your tube and tape it shut. And then you can sort of flatten the bottom so that the tentacles curl out and you can go ahead and curl them with your fingers as well. Our last step is adding a face, so I went ahead and did that with a darker color, in this case, a marker. And there you have your octopus. Thanks for watching, and have fun crafting!